What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Thank you for joining. New uploads every day, 9 a.m. I'm on this thread on Nancy Pelosi, and I want to show you how I got onto this. Let me give you a taste of the paper chase that she's been on that has increased her net worth to estimated $120 million. On Twitter, she was talking about a new committee being elected to investigate 1-6. In reply to that, Jay Gapsby1 said, "Can we get a committee to investigate Speaker Pelosi insider trading as well?" And I know about that, but not everybody might. That's why I'm doing this video. I know for sure Chuck Allen doesn't fully understand it. Ignorance is okay. All ignorance is I don't know. I never heard of it. And if Chuck Allen never heard of it, I wish he would have just said, "What are you talking about? I'm not familiar with this." But here's what Chuck Allen replied. "I laughed my ass off, really? Even if this were a real thing, you think it is just as or even more important than what happened on 1-6? Let me guess, you had friends there." Ignorance. You know it's ignorance because he said, even if this were a real thing. Let me show you, Chuck. Before you choose a politician over fellow citizens that made a mistake, it was a heinous moment, but these were just lost, desperate, confused people who lost faith. Kind of sounds like a lot of us in the country right now, huh? But I'm going to lay out some information for you. Let's go back to 2011 in November. 60 Minutes did a piece on congressional conflict of interest. It included several members of Congress, including Nancy Pelosi. It was so reprehensible and irresponsible that the 60 Minutes story influenced the Congress to pass the Stock Act in 2012. What was so bad? Well, of course, it's not legal for private companies to just give Nancy Pelosi, for example, $10,000 in favor for something. But what was legal before the Stock Act was for a company that was going to launch their initial public offering, the IPO, to give Nancy Pelosi an insider opportunity to buy the shares at the inside price before anyone in the public could. And that's what Visa did. There was legislation that was on the table at that time that would have hurt card companies. Visa, the card company. They allowed Nancy Pelosi and her husband to buy 5,000 shares at $44 a share of this Visa IPO. 2 days later, it bumped up to $64. That is a net gain of $100,000 in 2 days. And guess what? I'm not alleging anything because I don't know who talked to what, but it was a heck of a coinky dink that the legislation did not go through. Not bad, huh? Visa knows that the legislation didn't go through. Again, a heck of a coinky dink, but they did give Nancy Pelosi and her husband $100,000 net gain over those 2 days. Her and her husband, Nancy Pelosi and her husband, participated in 8 IPOs like that. This is back in 2008. I don't have the totals for how much they made or lost in those 8 IPOs, but you see they made $100K in 2 days on the one. I'm going to be willing to guess they did okay. Did you see Nancy Pelosi's $24,000 refrigerator? I think they're all right.
Your home.
Chocolate.
Really?
Chocolate candy.
Oh, wow.
And this is something you can get through the mail.
Okay.
You never run out. Can I show you?
Me. Yeah, absolutely. This is the episode of Cribs I never knew I needed. Oh my, wow.
Other people in our family go for some other flavors, but chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here.
Chuck Allen, which is worse? Do you see the power of the media and withholding information? And they don't want this stuff on YouTube. They don't want you watching this. This is known facts. You can Google anything that I'm talking about. The video from 60 Minutes that they did on this is still online right now. But they don't want that out there like that. They want Chuck Allens, zombies who attack fellow citizens that make a mistake and protect the self-aspirational, sleazebag, dirty, immoral, unethical politicians that make money as public servants. While Nancy Pelosi's district is so nasty, I can't even show you video footage of all of it on this channel. Human defecation, peeing on the street, fentanyl in your arms, walking around like zombies, flesh falling off. You know they have a human poop department in her district while this is going on. And you have the audacity to laugh and think that 1-6 is worse than this level of legal, not illegal. I'm trying to make sure you can hear me clearly. Legal corruption. We found out in early March that Nancy Pelosi and her husband purchased up to 10 million. I'm going to say that one more time because we fast forwarded now to 2021. After you've done all these IPOs and you've been playing games and you're making money, you don't deal with the little 200K anymore. Up to 10 million in Microsoft stock in early March. Just weeks later, again, it's just a coincidence. Weeks later, the Pentagon announced a $22 billion contract with Microsoft for augmented reality headsets. They are just so good at this stock market thing. In January, we found out that Nancy Pelosi's husband dumped $1 million, up to $1 million. They always do this up to because they won't tell you exactly how much. Up to $1 million in bullish bets. I mean, this is call options and Tesla stock. This isn't even just buying the stock out. This is flipping call options. This is above. This is, I really think this stock isn't going to go up, and I really want to make a lot of money. I just don't want to make the little bit in the stock. I'm buying bundles of stock, 100 at a time, doing call options. And then soon after, we find out that they're pushing electric cars, which I'm all for, but this is dirty. Nancy Pelosi can do this because there are no rules preventing her spouse from flipping the market. We don't have any proof that she's giving her spouse any information. All we see are awesome coinkydinks for big business and companies and great results for her and her husband. You know, the Democrats had this bill called For the People Act. You might have heard of it.
In a few hours, I will be walking down this hallway to cast the vote for the People Act.
And within that act, there was an amendment that was going through a committee. And that amendment would have said any member of Congress, their spouse, their relative can't be flipping stocks like this because whether you are giving them information or not, it just doesn't look right. It's a conflict of interest. You're supposed to be a public servant. Why are you so busy flipping stock? You should be busy doing the work for the people. For the People Act. There was a committee that blocked the amendment that would have stopped not just Nancy Pelosi, but her husband from flipping stock. If that would have went through the bill, and of course the For the People Act did not pass, but had it passed, it would have stopped this conflict of interest from her and her husband and Rokana and other people have this stuff with their spouse going on, or, oh, you know what? My financial advisor did it. I didn't do it. I have a great financial advisor, and I'm going to tell him the next time I talk to him, you know what, Mike? I didn't make this choice in this stock. I didn't tell you to buy more shares of Tesla. You did, just in case somebody asks. You know who stopped that? Who runs the committee that stopped that amendment from going through the act? I don't even need to tell you. They're on the Paperchase. Take care.
It's all about the M-O-N-E. Why must everything revolve around the penny?
I walk upon the streets without any.
Trying to keep a steady pace.
I'm on a paper chase.
It's all about the M-O-N-E. Why must everything revolve around the penny?
I walk upon the streets without any.
Trying to keep a steady pace.
I'm on a paper chase.
Nowadays, I see many count the ways of how it pays to shout a phrase on a chorus and bore us without amazing rhymes. In these disgracing times, let me state my case about the paper chase. I know it's hard trying to escape the pace of the fast lane, situated in a gold-plated Camry Lexa Benz. But what about support-related family checks for friends? The fall of hip-hop is new to me. Fuck it, CEOs don't see my flow as a business opportunity. How soon we forget what it means to be original. Seems to me they fiend to see residuals. I reckon smash foes getting paid for half-ass shows. Posting too concerned about collecting cash flows. You get burned out by Stacy Dash holes on your sack. Well, all I need is food on the table. Clothes on my back despite the fact dude from the label made us financially able. We still maintain hip-hop and keep it stable. It's all about the M-O-N-E. Why must everything revolve around the penny?
I walk upon the streets without any.
Trying to keep a steady pace.
I'm on a paper chase.
It's all about the M-O-N-E. Why must everything revolve around the penny?
I walk upon the streets without any.
Trying to keep a steady pace.
I'm on a paper chase.
You got to know your friends and enemies, and those who just pretend to be the ones that go remember me with good old days and memories we never had together. Friends in fair weather, yeah, whatever. You used to have no time for us, and now you wanna rhyme with us. Come on, spit a dime with us, and chicks and sisters. Nothing but loving on the mind. To come to find it, it was just tricks. They robbing leech, trying to live the lives of the rich and the famous. You're making me sick because you're shameless. Plus you're seedy like pomegranates. You seen it and said I'ma have it. Nowhere to be found when we was underground, struggling, but now you come around all of a sudden. Checking wallets for dollars, you're bugging. I give hollers to those that knew us when we was nothing, cause that's the truest. Former support is pure, we had yours from the door, ground floor. Elevated the rhyme and finally made it. You wasn't fishy, never gonna be unappreciated. You're not about the M-O-N-E.
Why must everything revolve around the penny?
I walk upon the streets without any.
Trying to keep a steady pace.
I'm on a paper chase.
It's all about the M-O-N-E. Why must everything revolve around the penny?
I walk upon the streets without any.
Trying to keep a steady pace.
I'm on a paper chase.
It's true that Lou rules the whole globe. Dining don't close, well, more autos inlaid with gold fixtures. Still, I remain a bitch to the dollar bill admitted. Insulated with the fitted caps, the fast stack of snaps, but the fact remains. Material gains can't steer me clear of pains. This lifestyle lusted for a nice while, but I'll state the grass was kinda greener in the leaner pastures. I wouldn't give up living up, but hip-hop for love was much cleaner. It's a fine line trying to get some money plus represent for me. What you choose when imitation is what gets the paycheck. Rockin' dash your fashions and stash your cash hits, but what is this? Am I a businessman or just a head with spendage? I got 10 times the ends, but only half the real friends. Lying in plus set and batting 1,000 with brick houses. But what counts is I don't own my soul, I'm just a slave to the chasing of the paper.
I'm on a paper chase.